Good morning, friends. So, we'll continue with our lecture on environment. Now, if you can recall what we had discussed yesterday. So, yesterday we saw what an environment is, what an ecosystem is, the living components called the biotic components, and the non-living, the abiotic. So, the biotic and the abiotic components together in their surroundings is called the ecosystem. So, yesterday we learnt about the ecosystem. Then we saw what a food chain is and what a food web is, how the energy flows from one level to another. The autotrophs, they are the producers who prepare their own food, that is the green plants and certain type of blue-green algae. And then there are the consumers who depend upon the producers for their food. There is a primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer and quaternary consumer. There are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores that depend on different type of food. We talked about the scavengers like the vultures and the hyena which help us to clean the environment, and we talked about biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. Yes, the biodegradable which the bacteria and fungi can decompose, and the non-biodegradable which cannot be decomposed. Now we come to the second part of the chapter, that is the waste management. But before we move to the second part of the chapter, we have to first understand how our Earth is a unique planet. What makes a planet so unique? So if you see, the Earth is at a distance from the Sun, which keeps the Earth not too hot like Mercury and Venus, and not too cold like the other planets Mars, Jupiter and so on. So the distance from the Sun is such a way that it gives us the ambient temperature to survive. Then there is water on the earth, there is air on the earth, which is a natural protection. How does the air protect the earth? If any heavy meteor is coming towards the earth with high velocity, then because of the friction of the air, the meteor burns down. So before it reaches the earth, it is reduced in size and the earth is saved. So because of the unique properties on the earth, life developed on earth. Today we are looking to find life on other planets, other galaxies. Yes, recently scientists found phosphine on Venus. Now phosphine is related to some kind of proteins and amino acids. So we have not found life on Venus, but the phosphine has been found, has been detected on Venus. So in future maybe we do not know what we will find there. But the thing to tell here is that the earth has survived for millions of years. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. So earth has, some species died, some survived, but life is going on this earth. But how have we taken things? So the more we learn about science, the more we have exploited the earth. Some changes have been favorable and some changes has been unfavorable. So now one more step we need to do before we move on to the waste management is understanding one more thing, one more layer, that is the ozone layer. Now what is the ozone layer? Ozone, the molecular formula is O3, means three levels, three atoms of oxygen from the ozone molecule. So ozone is a molecule which is made up of three atoms of oxygen. Okay. Now on the earth, the stable atom is O2, means one atom of oxygen is unstable. So two atoms of oxygen combine by a covalent bond and form O2, which is the normal oxygen that we breathe in, and it is very important for all aerobic forms of life. Ozone O3 is actually a deadly poison, means a person who will breathe ozone will naturally die. So if ozone is so deadly poison, why it is important to the earth? So on the surface of the earth, ozone is a very deadly gas, okay? Deadly gas, deadly element, deadly molecule, sorry. But at higher levels of the atmosphere, higher level means very high, above the troposphere, yes, even the stratosphere. At that level, ozone is very important. Why it is important? Because The sun rays is having light rays. Which light rays? Visible rays, which makes the earth bright. We can see everything. There are infrared waves which give heat to the earth. But along with that, there is a ray called UV ray, ultraviolet ray. Now, ultraviolet ray has got a low wavelength and high frequency. So, today's water purifiers use this technology called ultraviolet rays to kill the germs. But that ultraviolet rays has to be controlled in the unit because this is very dangerous. How it is dangerous? The radiation of this UV radiation is highly damaging to organisms, causing skin cancer. So the UV rays of the sun are very harmful to the plants, the animals, humans, causing skin cancer. So how does this ozone layer protect us from the UV rays? So the ozone layer absorbs the UV rays. So ozone at higher levels is a product of UV radiation. So this UV radiation which is coming towards the earth, what happens? Higher atmosphere, there is a O2 molecule. In the air there is O2. So these UV radiations split this molecular oxygen O2. You can see the O2, which was a oxygen molecule, because of the UV ray, it splits up into a separate O. So it splits up into free oxygen atoms. So you can see the O is separated. But a single O is very unstable. So because this O is unstable, what does it do? It combines with another O2 and forms O3. So what has happened here actually is the UV carried high amount of energy. That energy was used up in splitting the O2 molecule, so the energy has been absorbed. So these high energy UV rays do not reach the surface of the earth, and that is how we are saved. So UV helps us in a way. The O2 breaks up because of the UV, absorbs the energy, forms O3. So this ozone layer is now absorbing the ultraviolet rays and not allowing it to reach the surface of the earth. We are safe. But still some UV rays do reach the earth. Okay, but now these are not powerful to affect our skin, but they can have a part on the eye. So if you look at the modern goggles that we wear, the sunglasses, they write a sticker of UV protection, because some glasses may absorb the UV rays. So there is a protection called the UV protection which protects your eyes from this UV rays. So on the top part, the O2 forms O3. So O3 is very important, saving the earth from the harmful ultraviolet rays. But with the development of science, the O3 layer is breaking down. How is the O3 layer breaking down? In the 1980s, that is when science was developing very quickly, the amount of ozone in the atmosphere began to drop. Why it dropped? Because of synthetic chemicals like CFCs, the chlorofluorocarbons. You remember this word CFC. CFC is chlorofluorocarbon. And why it was developed? Because it is used in the refrigerants and the fire extinguishers. So don't think that CFC is useless. CFC was developed as a coolant used in refrigerators and fire extinguishers. So our ACs, refrigerators, they have CFCs. So when it is used up, it is released into the atmosphere. Now a lot of ACs being used. So a lot of CFCs are developed. Now this CFC, what do they do? The CFC reacts with ozone and breaks up the ozone. So CFC is dangerous in this way. It reacts with the ozone and breaks down the ozone. So in 1986, there was a convention, the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, forged an agreement with all the countries of the world to freeze the CFC production. So science had made a discovery which helped in the refrigerator. People were very happy. All those living in the heat could now use the AC, could use the refrigerator, so people were happy. Later on it was found out that the CFC are damaging the ozone layer. So today CFC use has been reduced. So how do we use the refrigerants and fire extinguishers now? So instead of CFCs, they are now using HCFCs. What are HCFCs? Hydrochlorofluorocarbon. So hydrochlorofluorocarbon, that is HCFC, is using the same technology used as refrigerant and extinguishers, but it is not harmful to the ozone layer. So in 1980s onwards, there was a very big hole in the ozone layer on the Antarctica. Luckily, it was not on the other continents, only in Antarctica. There is a research laboratory in Antarctica which detected a very big hole in the ozone layer. Again, I come to this corona pandemic, which is creating a havoc on the world. Because of the corona pandemic, there was a lockdown for 2 or 3 months, and it was seen that the ozone layer has been healing. The ozone layer, the hole in the ozone layer has been filling up because people have stopped moving out. Because of the lockdown, the vehicles came down, the pollution came down, and because of the pollution coming down, the ozone layer, the hole in the ozone layer was filling up. So science has come to our rescue, but it is very, very important to understand. So when things are developed, then we start using them, looking at their positive side. But over the years, slowly we start to understand it also has a negative effect. So this is the depletion of ozone layer. So here we are almost to the end of the chapter. So what we have seen, the unique condition of the earth, water, air, the right amount of temperature, ozone layer. So life developed on this planet. Okay, and science has also developed and we have made good use. But now the lesson learnt here is that the earth is very useful to us. The earth is giving us the life, protecting us. So we also have a responsibility towards this planet. So you have been doing a lot of projects in school, save trees, save water, save electricity, all the energy resources we are trying to save. And you have done a lot of projects in school. What is this being taught to you? That the earth has got limited resources. If you exploit it, then the future will not have energy resources. So earth has got a limit till which it can survive. Beyond that, it will not be suitable to live in. So in the name of development, we are cutting down trees, building bridges, building dams. Now building dams is very, very good. Why? Because the water stored in the dam used for irrigation, used for electricity, used for industries. But you also have to note, when you fill the water in a dam, then the water is covering villages, covering trees, covering these plants and animals, and they all have to relocate. So the whole ecosystem there has been changed. So dam is a good way of storing water for the humans, but it is affecting the landscape, the plants and animals of that region very badly. So we got the idea to store water. Why? Because we need water. So we started using more of the water. But by using more of the water, what happened? We built a dam, but the dam has destroyed the plants, animals, organisms in that area. So there is a development on one side, but it is harming the planet. Secondly, the vehicles are getting better now. Science is developing. We are having more vehicles which produce less pollution. We are having vehicles which give more mileage. So science is developing, but we have to see the development is sustainable. What does sustainable development mean? You have to develop in such a way that the earth, the planet is also preserved. So this is the main part of the lesson. So now we have to understand the lesson, and this is only not to do too much with your maths and science, but this is for the environment. You will become engineers, doctors and futures, whatever. You will have to learn to use technology in such a way that our earth is also safe. The planet is also conserved. So look into technology which will save the earth. Now we'll see, one thing is the garbage, waste management and waste generation. What does waste generation mean? In the olden times, people did not generate too much of waste. Because the resources were less, the waste was also less. Now we have got more resources and more waste. The number of cars have increased, so the pollution is also increased. Almost everybody can afford a two-wheeler or a car now. But in recent times, things have been very bad. So improvement in our lifestyle resulted in a greater amount of material generation. So now we are using more things which are disposable. Why? We always think of hygiene. So you got disposable syringes, disposable plates, disposable cups. If you go to a wedding, what do you have? Disposable cups and disposable plates made up of thermocol. You don't have to wash it. You eat it and then you can directly dispose it. But this plates, thermocol glasses, thermocol plates, remember, are non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable means they cannot be broken down by bacteria and fungi. The polythene plastic, the nylon, polyester, this all are made chemically. They are very good, very strong, no doubt. But they are non-biodegradable, they do not decompose. So in the parties, the weddings and everything, the cheap glasses and the plates that we use become a lot of burden. But why do we use them? Because people thought bringing the dishes, cleaning them will take a lot of time, will take a lot of energy, will take a lot of money. So why to waste our time? We can use disposable glasses and plates. We can use plastic bags. Will things become easier to carry? But these are non-biodegradable waste which the bacteria and fungi cannot decompose. So they keep on accumulating and creating a lot of pollution. So all we need to do is have more of biodegradable waste and reduce the non-biodegradable waste. Now, if you traveled in trains and see, when you drink tea or coffee, then in the trains, the coffee is given in disposable cup. After you drink the coffee, what happens next? Yes, we throw the cups out of the window. Okay, initially there were cups of glasses. So after you drank the tea, you have to give the glass back to the vendor. Now the vendor had to go and wash it. So people were worried, was he properly washing it or not? So came the disposable cup, which was good reason in hygiene. Now he doesn't have to wash it. We don't have to worry whether it's washed or not. So we started drinking tea in a disposable cup. After drinking the tea, they started throwing it out of the window. The plastic bottles we drink, the cups and everything, plates we throw out of the window. So, out of the window where you throw them, what is there? On the mountain side, near the rivers, all this waste got accumulated in these rivers, near these mountain sides. And because it is non-biodegradable, it made such a garbage dump that the forest and all started to suffer. The rivers started to become polluted, fishes started dying, the trees were not getting enough water because of this plastic stuck in their roots. So because of that, some time back, kullards. What are kullards? They are cups made of clay. So cups made of clay were given. So even if you throw the cup anywhere, the clay cup, it will break and then slowly it will decompose back into the mud. Okay, but now comes the next question. We remove the disposable cups because it is non-biodegradable, does not break up. So we made kullards made of clay. When you make kullards made of clay, you can, even if you drop it, it will break and it will mix with the soil. But when you make a lot of kullards, from where do you bring the clay to make the kullards? So the clay comes from the top fertile soil. So to now make this clay cups also, you are using the top fertile soil. So if you use the top fertile soil, then the soil will lose the fertility. Okay, so you have to think now which one is easier to use, disposable paper cups or disposable plastic cups. In many places still people eat on banana leaves. So while they are at home or when there are gatherings, big gatherings, people still serve in temples on banana leaves. Why? Banana leaves are disposable. Then in olden times there were dishes made up of dry leaves. We are not using it now because it is a little costly, but once upon a time we'll have to think upon, one time we'll have to think which kind of dishes to use. So these are the general ideas that we are understanding. So in your house also the waste which is being generated, you have to make sure that we have got disposable waste. Now the waste generated has to be also disposed correctly. So there are different bins for plastic, different bins for thermocol, it has to be sorted out, but still as much as possible try to reduce the use of plastic, try to reduce the use of polythene bags, try to reduce the use of disposable glasses to make the earth a better place. So we are going to end the lesson here. Nothing more in the lesson. It's a very simple and easy lesson. Understanding an environment, understanding the food chain, how the energy flows, the waste generation, the accumulation of waste called the biomagnification. This all is very, very important to understand to conserve our planet. So this lesson has got nothing more. So we are going to end here. Thank you.